Police have arrested a resident of Georgia, Randall Reid, for what they're saying is a big crime, stealing $10,000 worth of Chanel and Louis Vuitton bags. The issue with it is that the suspect that they've arrested says he didn't steal the bags. Also, he's never been to the state where they were stolen. So he's never even been to Louisiana, by the way. So why did they arrest him? How did they track him down? A facial recognition camera system. So they believed it was this guy 3 states away because it triggered this facial recognition tool that they've been using. Now, according to Reid's lawyer, he is 40 pounds lighter than the criminal visible, like visibly totally different, not the same person. And they did eventually let him go, but they arrested him. And that is already bypassing so many checks that are supposed to be present on the system, especially when using facial recognition software. So the lawyer says, I think they realized they went on a limb making an arrest based on a face. Yes, but bear in mind, they were still willing to do it. And I haven't seen any big announcements that they're gonna be instituting new checks and balances on the use of this. By the way, they don't need new ones. They're already present. They're just not following the ones that are there. And I want you to bear in mind that while this is a problem no matter what, and not the first time this has come up, at least 3 wrongful arrests have made news about using facial recognition as literally the only evidence of a person's guilt. But I want you to remember all of what we've talked about over the years about facial recognition and AI systems like this, and how they are made to be good in certain circumstances and not others. Now think about how that's going to affect law enforcement. And bear in mind the numerous studies that show that the technology is especially inaccurate when identifying people of color and women compared to identifications of white men. They're trained on white faces, so they're very good at telling the differences between white faces. They're programmed in many cases by white programmers. And so bias is baked into the coding, and that's how you get these sorts of mistaken identities. And unfortunately, it's combined with police who are willing to take that as gospel and just go and arrest someone without any extra evidence. JR, what do you think?
Yo, lazy police work, as you could imagine. And same thing, we're gonna use the new technology and we're gonna go to this stretch and get someone else. And as you point out, because of who created it, there's those problems with it. And even if it wasn't for those biases, there's still gonna be problems with it. It's technology, bro. It hasn't been perfected, it's brand new, and they're just gonna jump straight to it. It's the laziest approach to trying to then arrest someone for robbery of a Louis Vuitton store. This is what they're focusing on now, right? This is the point. And it makes it easier and easier for them to then wrongfully arrest folks. We hear about these idiots always talking about how the Matrix is here. The gazpacho police are coming for you, as Marjorie Taylor Greene said. They're doing all this to get you. Are you gonna point out when people get arrested that maybe you don't like? Because those folks are still Americans, they're still regular people going about their own damn business. So as they get arrested over facial recognition from 3 damn states away, as you pointed out, who's gonna stand up for them? How much do you really care about all this stuff that you're talking about? Again, it's gonna continue to expose how these are all just talking points to make sure you look a certain way, again, to get elected, not about actual trying to stop any crime.
You're 100% right. Like they've spent decades freaking out about the new world order and global governments, and everybody's gonna be like, come on, a facial recognition system that's just picking you up like in a store or something, and then flagging you for a crime someone else did 3 states away. Every one of them should be against this, and it's weird that they're not.
Yeah.
Okay, thankfully in this case he was released. Hopefully the police in New Orleans will start actually following the law. Check out the Damage Report podcast each day, wherever you get your podcasts, whether Pocket Casts or Stitcher or iTunes. You can join me as I give you the news and stories you want, with a range of co-hosts and interview guests jumping in on the fun each day. Again, that's the Damage Report, wherever you get your podcasts. And if you get them at iTunes, don't forget to rate and review. Sometimes I'll read them live on the show.